Well, here we go. This was a pretty interesting job. As you can see, there's a lot of demo to be done here, the entire shower. We were asked to come look at a pan that was level, and we were recommended from a really great installer in town. And it was actually pretty nice to get recommended for this one. When we got there, they had been talking to us about their pan and how they had water that was setting up, and obviously it wasn't draining correctly. So when we got there, we noticed that the pan itself was level, and that always worries you because you're thinking, geez, what did they do for this pan to have it level? I told the customer, hey, hopefully we can just do the pan. We'll tear the pan out. We'll go about 6 inches up, re-waterproof, re-slope, do everything, get the pan back in. But as you can see, once we continued going, everything was just so poorly installed. And we started to notice a couple little waterproofing issues. But you can see right here, when you see the mud flaking off the wall, you know that they let it set up, skin over, way too dry. And it even looks like they troweled the walls, and then they, either back buttered or back troweled the tiles, which is pretty ridiculous. And it still didn't hold. Now, I really want you guys to notice these little beads everywhere. All these little styrofoam beads, which really got me thinking, what's going on here? And these nails. This is the pan. I mean, we have nails in the pan, you guys. I'm just mind blown. But I think this is what they used on top of that pan, is like their waterproofing layer. I don't know. It's interesting, but anyway, we got it out, and let's get ready and get started and get something going that's going to work for them. First thing I got to do is level this little shower area. It's not much. It's anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch thick, and you can't always find your runouts, obviously, because there's one, but good enough. So let's get the pan in, and hopefully we can do it upside down. Yep, there we go, upside down. Start building our niche. Trying to keep everything to where, with the niche, I didn't want to have to do any cut arounds or picture framing or anything. I kind of wanted to do it the whole way, but because of the window, once we started doing layout, it just wasn't going to work. All right, let's throw our band up. When you guys are doing this, make sure to push out as much of that adhesive as you can to get it as tight as you can. You don't want any air bubbles or gaps in this banding. And there's guys out there that say waterproof and guys that don't waterproof, and I'm kind of one of these guys that waterproof. So I like to use RedGuard or HydroBand. I understand that sometimes they say it's not recommended, but just with a lot of tests that we've seen and a lot of work that we've done, I don't know, I'm a big supporter of just waterproofing the thing. So after we get all of our banding up like this, and we've used the RSS sealant, it goes around all of the holes, corners, things like that. Just helps prevent water leaking in through the little cracks and spots that you might have, especially where you've attached the board with the screws. So that's the gray, rubbery looking stuff that you see there. It's all waterproofing. It's not a super long process. It takes about a day to get all this done. It's pretty simple, Now my favorite part. Let's get mixing everything up and get our Schluter all set in the bucket. Whip this stuff up good. You want it to be airy, Cool Whippy, easy to work with. Kind of something like that. All right. These are cool. Setup. What a beautiful day in Oregon. Geez. You know, we don't get a lot of really nice days. And that was just letting you guys see that we did do our water test. Everything worked out great. It's all drained now. Everything is all waterproofed and buttoned up and tight. Plumber, dang it, he kind of put that valve in a little awkward, but you know, we'll make it work. We usually try to. I'm really was liking the design that they were going to bring to me. It's totally different than the first install. Different looking tile and everything. And, you know, they did a pretty good looking job on the install, but not a very good install. So something to look out for. All right, now we're going to throw up our laser, get our boards down. I'm just trying to find where this is going to end up with my window and with my niche, and it just wasn't going to work out the way I wanted. There'd be like a really thin sliver on the left side, and so I just said we're going to frame it in. It wasn't too big of a deal. And right here, I want you guys to take special notice that, you know, all of our troweling is the same direction. We put it on the back of the tiles and on the wall itself. And you also notice that, you know, I go one tile at a time, two tiles at a time. You don't need to, you know, put the whole wall of mud up and then go. Keep your bucket fresh. You have a longer pot life than you do wall life. So in other words, if you put your mud up on the wall, you got about 20 minutes before it wants to skin over. So I just do it when I'm working on. I have a tile, I mud it, throw it up. Got another one, mud it, throw it up. It's, you know, not super difficult. And we set tiles, so we don't just lay them up there. We set them, we try to make sure that we have no lips, that everything's plumb, flat. And, you know, quite honestly, each tile that you set, it's pretty expensive for the customer, so try to make sure that it's set properly and looks good. At least that's what we try to do. I don't know if we get it 100% all the time, but boy, we definitely try. I'm feeling pretty good about this outside corner here, but gosh, these things sure chipped, you know. Just clean them up. Here we go. See? Just enough for 3 tiles. No big deal. Mud's still fresh. Everything's still good. Keep setting them. Keep everything clean. Keep directional. That's all we're trying to do here. And I tried using those little green spacers for the first time. A buddy told me about them. Yeah, I hate those. I don't think I'll ever use those again. I'd rather just be able to see my joints the entire time and know that they lined up perfectly. And because I used the little green ones, it didn't line up perfectly, so kind of upset about that. But I mean, it's, you know, nothing that's you're gonna have to tear it out. It'll be fine. It just bugs you, you know, because we're always 2 inches away from our work or an inch away from our work, and constantly tearing ourselves apart as installers. Always trying to get better, I suppose. And I'm hoping for that one day when I am better. Here we go. Let's throw some pebbles in. Do not use the sheets, people. Dunk it in water. Throw the pebbles off. Place them individually. It'll look so much better. You can get so many different lines from your sheet lines, and it looks pretty bad once it's installed. I think you'll be able to notice when we get to the pan here that I'm going to do that. So now here we go. I'm going to dry lay all of this. And then that way I can get all my lines on there, know exactly where I'm going to be marked out. I don't have to try to, you know, measure one, then go measure another one. Everything's all set, and it can look nice and clean when it's finally installed, which is hopefully right now. So we'll get everything installed, get some mud on it, get our Schluter in there. That's a Jolly trim. And then we'll go ahead and bridge where that Jolly trim is. You'll see what I'm saying. We're going to put a little support piece in there, and then that helps hold everything tight. Once again, directional troweling, keep everything clean. And here we come. So remember, all these were pre-measured and lined up, sitting on the wall, so everything should come out really nice here. There we go. Frame it in. Get her all picture frame. Get the jelly, and you can see right in the middle there, I have a little support to help hold it up. Now, bottom. So if you take these, flip them upside down and backwards and make your marks on them, put them back up against the wall, and you'll see they'll cut perfectly for you. I started to put these pebbles in, and it was just too deep, so I eventually pulled them all out, skim floated that entire area for the waterfall pebbles, and made it to where they were more flush, just easier to install. I thought I was going to try to get away with it in the beginning, and it was just like, come on, dummy, you can't do that. So we got it all skimmed up, and I think when you see us coming back to those pebbles, you'll understand that, yeah, that's a lot cleaner. And here we come. So now I just have to press them in tight. Super simple. You'll see my little thing up on the screen there where I keep throwing the little stones on. That's just a little splash of mud, and I like to scratch the back of those with some mud before I place them on. It's just back buttering. It's just a really easy way to do it. All right, let's continue up this around the valve. Like I say, do them individually. It's cleaner, it's nicer. You don't have to make any cuts. And quite honestly, if I see a pebble cut on an install, I'm kind of like, wow, there was absolutely zero need for that. So, if you can, please don't do that. Just take them off, set them individually, and they'll look a lot better too. And you can get your gapping a little closer too, which is pretty important, especially on a pan, because you'll get a lot of dips in your grout with big grout lines, and you can get little puddle pools. And so we try to not have that situation occur. You're never going to get away from it, but try your best to keep those stones pretty tight together, and you won't have a lot of big grout areas that'll puddle, hopefully. That's the whole idea, right? So there we go. The waterfall's all done, individually placed, and feeling pretty good about it. And now for the pan. Like I say, one at a time. And it's going to be totally cleaner and clean as you go. These are a bear if you get a bunch of mud coming up where you want to grout. They're difficult to get cleaned up. You can see I have a little pebble back here that I'm laying my level on about a foot or two back, and then that's what I'm doing to keep everything flat. Not level, flat. I want all these stones to be the same height. And if I can, I like to run a level all the way across like this, and hopefully it doesn't hit anything and there's no lips. I think I have part of that in the video coming up. So here we go. I think the stones are almost done on the curb there. I was going to use Schluter, but it looked kind of cool. Just with nothing on the edges, just clean like that, kind of roughed in, I guess, but it kind of flows with everything, so I was pretty happy about it. Here we go. See, this is what I mean by the pebbles individually. You won't be able to see any lines where the sheets were supposed to meet up because there are no sheets. So it makes a much cleaner install. And there's our waterfall of stones dropping down into the pan. Up around the window, all framed in. This is when it starts to get pretty fun, because now we're getting ready to, get ready to clean and grout. And if you keep everything fairly clean as you go, it shouldn't take you too long to get ready for the grout. I think this was maybe a 2-hour cleanup, minus the fact that we accidentally did chip a tile, had to break one out, and reinstall it. So, it happens. Nobody's perfect. But the big thing is, you chip a tile, fix it, tear it out, replace it. I know it's not the funnest thing ever, but just do it. All right, grout time. Up in the knees. Looks great. Matches our pan. Hopefully they're happy with it. I like it. I think it looks really nice. Oh, okay, here we go. So, this is what I'm talking about. Let's slide this thing across this pan. And hopefully we don't get any lips. And on this one we didn't. That thing is tight to the floor and just scooting across. It's not catching anything. Really happy about that. I mean, I think every installer knows it takes a little effort to do that. And that's really all it is, everyone. It's a little effort. It's a, kind of taking your time, do it right. It's so much easier to just do it right. Then you don't have someone coming behind you and tearing out your pan. And believe me, that original pan, that was so scary. You see things like that and you have no idea what you're getting into, and then you start busting into everything and you're like, what in the heck is going on here? Like they poured self-leveler for a pan. That wasn't even deck mud. That was just self-leveler. Crazy stuff, you guys. Just crazy. All right, let's get all this stuff grouted. So I made sure that I sealed all my stones first. And that's just so when I grout, it's going to come off a lot easier, because these things can tend to, haze over. And we're using a SCG grout here, so it's a single compound grout, comes right out of the bucket, pre-mixed. And I like it. I like working with it. It, sets up fairly quickly for what it is, and it holds very hard. I enjoy it. Looks clean, nice. Everything turned out smooth. I'm happy with it. And our customers on this job, I tell you what, we had to do 5 other jobs while doing this job because of all the unexpected things that came up with actually having to tear the whole thing out and redo it. So kudos to them for, allowing us to take the time to work on this project while working on other projects, and kudos to our other customers for understanding what was happening with these clients and allowing us to, just try to get everything done. But this was honestly about 6 weeks on a 2-week shower, because we had other projects lined up and kind of had to work on this one with the other projects. So I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get to work and get home 4 o'clock at night. But it all worked out, and thank you for watching, and have a great day.